What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this Tuesday, Andor finished wrapping up the final 3 episodes of the final season, season 2 of Andor. And of course, there'll be spoilers in this video because I'm going to be talking about the finale, some things I didn't like, as well as a bunch more. And I'll also be judging the U-Wing now that I've seen it in the show based on the accuracies of the figures, the box, and of course the actual U-Wing. I do have a full review out already, but I thought I'd do another half one, I guess, a little bit shorter, to sort of compare its accuracies to the actual show. As far as the figures and these sets, these are really accurate, and I'll start with Andor because he does have a lot of outfits in this series. This one I think is one of the closest to the ones that we see in Rogue One, which is kind of cool, so you can actually use it for more than one purpose. Like, I'm probably going to do a Scarif mock later in the summer like I usually do, and it will definitely be upgraded when I add Andor, as well as K2SO, and of course the U-Wing. So this is probably one of my favorite outfits for Andor. I think it is a little bit iconic rather than some other outfits. I would have liked to see some other outfits in a different set, but if there's one set with one Andor outfit, I would definitely pick this one because this one was basically his main outfit, the one leading up into Rogue One. As far as K2SO, it is pretty accurate because when we do get to see KSO in action, I guess, he does actually hold a blaster for part of the time. I think it was in the second to final episode. So there's 12 episodes. I think it was episode 11. I don't think it was actually the final episode, but it was in the final arc. He did have a blaster in it, so it is really cool to see that represented there, and I guess it's nice to have an extra blaster. But I really wish they would have added a little bit more detail than just white and black, and they could have added a little bit of yellow in there. Technically, it's not completely accurate, but I really like the side Imperial logo here. It's pretty accurate to the show, but there is sort of like a shoulder plate there, I guess. So not the most accurate figure, and it does look a little bit different than in Rogue One. He does look a little bit more polished and nicer in Rogue One than in Andor Season 2. But I still think it is really awesome figure. I really wish there was a little bit of yellow detail because it kind of seems like this is from Rogue One and not from Andor Season 2. Now into the actual U-Wing, which my main problem with the U-Wing is the actual inside of it. The hangar bay, I guess, if you want to call it that. There isn't a lot to see there or to access, and of course it isn't the most accurate, which I know they can't do it, the most like perfect accuracy, but I still think what the space they had in there, they didn't really use properly. It's kind of just like random stuff in there, like some random seats, I guess, so it's easier to remove, like K2SO or Andor or whatever figure you put in there, but seeing the actual inside of it, it's more like clean, and there's not really any stuff, like, I guess, lying around. And I believe the cockpit here would go a lot more up front because there would sort of be stairs or like a ladder leading up to the cockpit here, which I know they can't do, but I still think it is a pretty good set, at least from the outside. I used to really like the door design here, but I still like it a lot, but it definitely isn't as accurate as I saw in the show. But still, I think it is a pretty cool to get another U-Wing. While it does have its inaccuracies from Andor Season 2, it is pretty accurate to Rogue One, and just the overall shape and colors. There's not too much to critique about this set, but a little bit of the smaller details I would have appreciated a lot more. And Dead Ramiro and the other ISB officers are pretty accurate. I talk about it a lot in my review, but so far they're in my Imperial Army, which is either out right now or will be out tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe for that. The layout of Andor Season 2 was kind of weird, but I actually liked it because it was 3 episodes instead of 1 every day at Tuesday at 8, I think, at Central Time. So it is really cool to get 3 episodes, so you get like a mini arc of each series, which I really, really liked. But I kind of wish it was spread out, like 1 episode every week, because it would have made till like half the summer, and it would have like spread it out, made me sort of like enjoy it a lot more and like focus more on the episodes, because it was kind of long. I guess you could have like watched one on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, and could have made all the way through the rest of the week. But still, I really like how there is 3 different arcs. I kind of hope they continue it for some other series, But for stuff like Skeleton Crew and maybe like some other shows like The Mandalorian, I definitely would have rather had just one episode at a time. I think this feature only really works on Andor, and honestly, I hope they don't continue it unless there is an actual show that it would work with. But the second to last arc, which was about the Gorman Massacre, was probably my favorite one. I didn't like how after it was kind of just like, I don't want to say boring, but it was one of the least exciting arcs. But I would have wished they would have swapped the final arc with the Gorman Massacre. I know it would have really made sense with Luthen Rail's death, and it has to lead directly up to Rogue One, which it sort of did. I would have liked it to have the opening scene with Cassian on the Ring of Catherine as like the final scene in the Andor Season 2. I think it would have been really cool just to actually straight up lead it up, sort of like it did in Rogue One. It literally showed the first scene of A New Hope, or sort of the first scene of A New Hope at the last scene of Rogue One. Sort of appreciate that a lot more. But still, I think it was a very, very exciting finale. But again, I really wish the Gorman Massacre would have been a lot later. And then maybe they would have just assembled K2SO. So maybe episode 11, the Gorman Massacre would have been, I think that would have been a lot cool, because some of the episodes sort of felt like filler episodes, not too much, but after the Gorman Massacre, which was like the most exciting episode, it kind of just declined. As a whole, Andor was very, very nice Season 1 and Season 2. I think I enjoyed Season 2 a little bit better than Season 1, but Season 1 was still really good, and if I had to fit it in somewhere in my ranking, I guess I'd put it in the highest tier, like S tier, probably fit it in between The Mandalorian, I guess Season 1 or Season 2, and right before Episode 3, because again, Episode 3 was really good, but it probably fits in right with Episode 3, Rogue One, and The Mandalorian, some of my favorite pieces of Star Wars media ever, and definitely deserves a spot up there. But that's going to do it for the rest of the video. Make sure you subscribe for my full video with Dedra Meero and my Imperial Army, as well as the U-Wing and Scarif, which I'll be building over the summer. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing rest of your day, and see you on the next one.